Welcome back, everybody, to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community. I'm your host, Nico, and joining with me today, as always, is Chris, but he's actually on location, everybody. Look at the dedication on this motherfucker. he's don't let the decor, the hotel background fool you guys. He's all the way in Mexico right now, having a great time. What's going on, Chris?
Not too bad. Enjoying a bit of a vacay here. Still got time to do the show.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But yeah, hopefully the rest of the vacation goes great, man. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself out there. And yeah, I don't know. I gotta tell you, I'm enjoying this hotel decor behind you.
I know it's a little too fancy for me. I feel like in some bachelor pad here. See how it goes.
Yeah, I think
Maybe I'll give you a little room tour after we're done.
yeah. I would love. I'm sure we'd love to see that. I was about to say, once you come back next week, it's gonna be disappointing without this. Gotta step it up.
It's TV with CP24 on in the back.
Yeah, exactly. All right. But yeah, welcome back, everybody. This is episode 89 of Comic Shop Talk. Where we, Chris is the first. I was about to say where we travel around the world, but I just travel around Canada. Chris actually leaves the country.
It's international.
That's right. Let those guys know down there, man. I don't know how you say Comic Shop Talk in Spanish, but you better learn.
Ryu Palace.
Yeah. I've been to that resort before. Yeah, those are nice. I mean, they're good for what they are for sure. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, everybody. To all our new Mexican viewers out there, subscribe. You check this episode out.
Bienvenidos.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking about the new comics that came out for the week of August 9th this week. And as always, spoiler warning, just be forewarned. We are going to get into some of the specifics of the books here this week. We're going to be showing off some art. Always a good time. All right, Chris, without further ado, man, all the way from out there in Mexico, Cancun, what's going on?
All right, cheers. Let's talk comics.
Let's talk some comics. Cheers. You got the Dos Akis.
Well, Turkeys and just a bit of tequila on ice.
Oh, very nice.
Get ready for the night,
I was about to say, I got my Ryan Coke here. All right. No, but you sound great. The connection's good, and you're coming through clear. So awesome, man. That's great.
Yeah, I got some good internet connection. That's the only thing. I didn't know if I'd be able to do this if we had spotty internet.
Of course. But yeah, thanks for making the time, man. So yeah, here we go. First up on the docket here today, we got Ghost Rider Wolverine, Weapons of Vengeance #1, or Alpha, I should say. I guess Alpha #1, which is, I guess, the setup before it goes and crosses over into these two titles. What do you think of this, Chris?
Was this like some sort of Fall of X tie-in? Because I didn't see anything to do with Fall of X.
No, I didn't feel like it was. No.
Okay, yeah. I thought I read something about that. But anyways, I thought the art of this one was freaking, starts off strong. You got some great panels in here. I thought the story was decent. I've read some other reviews of this saying this was garbage. I think that panel there, that's worth the price of admission there. That's like some old school Wolverine there.
Yes.
And the story's decent. He's going back, kind of brings back to the days of the school for gifted mutants, and we'll see what goes on. I'm not buying this. I'm just reading it online.
Same.
But I'm not upset that I didn't buy it. But I think I'm getting a few issues through Wolverine just because they got some good covers.
Yeah. And I mean, I agree with you. I did think there was some awesome art in this at times. There was some great panels with that old school kind of, the animated series yellow Wolverine costume, which was pretty cool to see him in for this. I wouldn't agree with the reviews on this that it was garbage. What I will say though is that it was a lot of setup, but that's what an alpha issue is.
Yeah.
So like I've come to expect that at this point. So did they spend the whole issue kind of setting up this story, which left on the last page where they kind of connected these past events between Ghost Rider and Wolverine to kind of what's going on right now? Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, sure, you really kind of just didn't even make it in on the ground floor of this event or crossover or whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it because, I'm not the hugest Ghost Rider fan, but I do like kind of the story being told so far here. I do like Wolverine, obviously, a lot. And I was happy to see the crossover between these two characters. I feel like it's been a while since I've read a Ghost Rider story. And Benjamin Percy, who's been actually doing a really good job on the Wolverine series, as we've talked about lately, is the writer on this. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. I'm interested. I don't think it was garbage. I think it was fine. It was nothing wrong with it, but it was all set up. So
Yeah.
absolutely, if you're expecting something more out of this issue, and it
Yeah, I
didn't,
think you're expecting too much then.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, there was some nice some scenes in here. I did enjoy, and I did like seeing them on their bikes at the end. I was like, let's fucking go, man. That was pretty awesome.
I think Wolverine looks a little outclassed beside the Ghost Rider's motorcycle.
Yeah, he kind of yeah, he's kind of trying to I don't know, it's almost like they took a picture of Triple H there and put Wolverine instead. So what'd you give this out of 5 then?
I had a 3.5. I thought it was pretty good.
Same, 3.5. Yeah, I can't give any more than that, but yeah, 3.5 for sure. And then we got Avengers number 4. Chris, what'd you think of this?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have my comics here to show you, but I did buy this one. And this is, I don't want to say it's a slow-moving story, but
Yeah,
I'm kind of tired of all these one pages where it's one Avenger versus one of the Ashen Combine.
mm-hmm.
And, it just kind of slows down the motion of the story,
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff that's going on, I guess, on that Forbidden City or the Lost City or whatever that space station that Captain America and Black Panther are hanging out on. And, they're searching to see if there's any life form before they destroy it. Thought that was pretty decent. And I'm kind of liking the back and forth between Captain America and Black Panther. I'm not sure why they're at odds with each other or why Black Panther is such a untrusting sort of person there, but it's getting there. It's better than the last issue. I still like seeing all the city stuff, but I don't know. I guess each of them all going to get beaten separate, and they got to come together or something to fight this Ashen Combine. That's where I see this going.
Yeah, I got nothing else to add. I think you kind of touched on everything. I agree with everything you said there. I think it's slow. I think it was better than last issue. I am really enjoying the art. I am expecting more from this book, and I don't feel like it's hitting the mark, but it's not necessarily bad either. It's just very middling at this point for me. Like, I don't think it's terrible. I'm going to continue reading it. I want to like the book. I like Jed McKay. The art's, like I said, good. So yeah, I'm not going to complain about it, but I think it could be better. But it's just, it's a slow build. Like you said, I mean, we can probably guess where it's headed, but I just wanted to get there. I'm interested to see where they go with this story and what lies ahead of us. Right. So
yeah.
But I want to like the Avengers title though, and I'm here for it. So I'm going to continue.
Yeah, it seems like each Avenger's getting their freaking ass whooped.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, it's good to see how they decide to turn this around.
Yeah. So what would you give this out of 5?
Yeah, probably a 3.5.
Same. Yeah, 3.5 for this as well. All right, I got a couple here, some quick hits here, things I read. This was so this is from the creators of a book that I caught up in trade this past year called That Texas Blood, which is kind of like a Texas sheriff kind of crime story, like him kind of like involved in different cases. And it's really good. I had heard about it, and then I picked up, I think there's 3 volumes, 3 trades of it out right now from Image Comics, and it's really, really solid. I read the first one and I didn't love it, and then I heard good things about the series. Like, I kept hearing good things, so I was like, okay, I'll check out the next one. The second volume was awesome, and then the third one was really good too. So like, and then I bet if I went back and reread the first one, maybe I would like it more now. But those second and third volumes are fucking great. But this is from the same creators. And this is called the Enfield Gang Massacre. And it is basically Texas, but back in like the late 1800s or early 1900s, around the time where like it was still kind of like the Wild West, sort of like around the kind of New Frontier times or whatever it's called. Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of,
yeah,
they're still trying to figure things out with the policing and everything else. So there is still a presence of sheriffs and this kind of stuff. And they got Texas Rangers. So it was a straight up Western. You might want to check this out, man. You might like this book if you're looking for some Western comics, which isn't very common out there these days. but this was really fucking solid. And there was no twist. There was no like it's a Western, but it's got like a, you know, it's also a sci-fi, or it's just a straight up Western book. And it's great. The art's really solid. Jacob Phillips, who's really good. You know, some of the dialogue kind of felt like you're watching like an old Western. Like there's basically this Enfield gang. They robbed this guy for like the third time in like a couple of months, a banker in this. And he's like, you know, why don't you guys get a job? Like, quit robbing me all the time. Like, what is this? Like, right. And they're like, yeah, well, you know, that's not going to happen, pal, whatever. And then like, he says something and he shoots his guns off in the air and rides off on his horse. And the guy's like, Tarnation. It was great, man. It just felt like I was watching like an old Western flick or something, man. And then all of a sudden you get like this bar scene and all the there's like a town hall scene where all the fucking people that live in this town are complaining about the fact that they keep getting harassed by this Enfield gang who kind of, I guess, continuously comes through. And again, it's kind of at this time, like there's not like a lot, like the sheriff apparently that they've just newly appointed to this town or this county, whatever the fuck it is, like he is not doing a good job. So everyone's complaining. And then the fucking Texas Ranger shows up. You know, the Texas Ranger, you don't want to fuck around. The Texas Ranger's like, listen, I'm just passing through, folks, trying to see what's going on here in this town. And he's like, I don't want to step on the sheriff's toes. Looks like, you know, he's got things underway. I'm just seeing what's happening. And all of a sudden, while he's staying in town, this guy ends up busting into the fucking town hall. He got shot up by one of these guys. And then all of a sudden, you know, it goes on. You see these guys, you know, splitting the money and kind of out and about, the Enfield gang people, and how it's like the people are being affected by this in the town. And then this guy kind of says, you know what, maybe I'll go straight. Maybe that guy will offer me a job like he was talking about at the bank. And maybe I can kind of quit all this gang business. This one dude who kind of runs the gang as he's pondering to himself. And then the fucking Texas Ranger, they find this guy brutally murdered, the banker from the scene at the start that the guy robbed from the Enfield gang. But it looks like he wasn't responsible because we didn't actually witness this. He robbed him and he ran off. Then they fucking come into this place and they see him strung up with his guts all over the place. And it's like a grisly murder scene. And then the Texas Ranger's like, oh, guess I'm taking over this situation. so then by the end of the book, Texas Ranger rolls into the saloon where the fucking Enfield gang's hanging out with his men. And he's like, you know, put your hands in the air. He's like, I'm taking you guys in for the murder of this banker. Great fucking solid first issue. It was really cool to read a Western comic, which like I said, it doesn't really exist out on the market, I feel like, these days. And I'll give it like a 4.25. It was a real big surprise. I was going to wait for the trade for this, but it was a light week. And then I read the issue and I was like, you know what? This was really fucking good. I like this book. Very good.
Nice.
Yeah. And then it got Kea number 10. Got my Andrew McLean variant here. I like some of the artists that they pick for the variants of this book, more kind of like indie artist type stuff, like guys that do like image books and stuff like that as well. Another solid issue. I don't really have too much to add about this, but I am still enjoying the adventure. I'm enjoying the art. I think Wes Craig is doing a great job on his own book here, writing and drawing. And in this, like the brother, Kea's brother, who has kind of been abducted, and she's been trying to get him back by like, you know, some sort of other creatures. And they're caught up between some sort of like war of some sort between different tribes of people in this world. He's kind of having some sort of like trippy kind of head, dream type sequences in this issue. And I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff usually, but you know, I think he used it well. Like, I think he's trying to hint at maybe what this kid needs to do in this certain situation. Maybe the fact that he's able to channel some powers from something. I'm not 100% clear on what they were trying to say, like in his dream sequences there, but it looks like something's going to happen with the kid at some point. And, you know, again, just really enjoy the art, really enjoy the adventure aspect of this. Kea is now traveling to get her brother back against, like I said, this rival clan. And I give it a 3.75 out of 5. Another solid issue, just not too much more to add in the ongoing narrative of this book. Chris, Immortal X-Men number 14, which I realize I didn't fucking prepare to upload here for the show. So I'm just going to flip through my my tablet here. I don't know if that's helpful, but the book opens up like this with a very troubled fucking Charles Xavier in this title, of course, as we've seen the fallout of what had happened through the Hellfire Gala events, right? What do you think?
So from what I get here, all those people that went through the gates, they didn't die then.
That's right.
But Professor X still thinks they're all dead because he can't reach them.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a bit of a bummer. Like I was hoping that everybody would be dead. Not because I don't like them, but if you're gonna say, like that was a big event there that everybody went through there, he thought everybody was dead, and it turns out they're just out of reach or whatever. But I guess a lot of it was just a recap of the Hellfire Gala, I guess, from Professor X's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty decent, and I guess you find out a lot of the X-Men are floating in the desert somewhere. Who knows where and who knows when.
Buddy from Morocco is like fucking that guy, the biblical dude that walks through.
Yeah, I think I'm almost thinking this is like the story of Moses here.
That's it.
Freaking, they all get trashed, everybody's dead, and now you're stuck in the desert for 40 years.
And they're about to part the Red fucking Sea,
Yeah, freaking Marcus and the Romans coming after them.
Right, yeah, Moses, that's it. Yeah, Morocco of Moses. Moses of Morocco over
here. If it does play out this way, I don't know. That's going to be I don't know if that's a plus or a minus.
I'll tell you this: the fact that we both thought that's what that last scene was kind of like. I mean, it's kind of cool, actually.
It doesn't help that his name is Exodus, which is pretty much exactly what the story was called in the Bible.
Isn't that clever, though? It's kind of clever that they kind of had that, like, be where they ended up.
Kind of like you're running out of stories. Let's just hack something from the Bible.
You know what? As brutal,
that's public domain now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's as brutal as it would have been, and impactful if they did actually get taken off the playing field, all of them, Chris. At the same time, it's like we've seen the mutants get wiped out so many times in events over the years. So I'm kind of happy for once, like you still got the payoff of the torment and the frustration from Charles Xavier's side, and like and almost like some sort of like way, like he's trying to be at peace with himself at the end, and he's defending the island because that's all he has left.
Yeah.
Right, like they come in, Orcus or whatever tries to attack him. He's making like a big, I guess, like with his mind, like something that looks like a big monster that chases them off the island, and they invade it. There's some good Sinister in this issue. I thought this. Oh, my favorite part though was the part now you're seeing what's his name, fucking Sebastian Shaw from the Hellfire Club.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah, those scenes were great. I love him in this book. He's such a and he's
just he gets what's coming to him too, though, because doesn't he get screwed?
Well, he's like, oh well, so tell me, update my finances there for me. How much money do I have now? And she's
like nothing changed.
Yeah, you have no money barely still. It's like, what? He's like, I own Krakoa. It's like, what's going on? He's like, yeah, but you own the island, but you don't own what's on the fucking island. So like, I'm gonna have to investigate further into. Well, he's like, who owns that? And he's like, I'll have to look into it, right?
Oh, and then he's got his agenda or whatever. And we're all got that agenda. Oh, we're still at stage 0.
Oh, it's great. There's some great moments with him in this. Honestly, once again, this is the third fucking week in a row between 3 different titles. Like, well, I guess the Hellfire Gala was a standalone, but we mostly only read Immortal X-Men and the main X-Men book. But like 3 weeks in a row, solid fucking installments in the X-Men.
The Fall of X, I'm loving it.
I've been hearing some other opinions from folks, my travels to the comic book store that aren't feeling these things going on as much lately, and I don't understand it because I think it's like I think they're. I'm like, you guys got to get over the fact Hickman left. That was 2 years ago, guys. It was like there's still some good stories being told here. I don't know. I don't get it why some people aren't a fan of what's happening right now. But for you and me seem to like it. And, there we go. That's all that fucking matters. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I think it's a big story, and I'm happy to be part of it for this.
Yeah, absolutely. So what'd you give this?
I give this easy 4.
I was about to say I'll give it a 4.25 this week. I thought it was really solid. Next up, we got Superman Annual 2023 #1. Not sure if you ended up reading this or not. Maybe this.
I kind of go over this one.
This was nice, first of all, because in between all the fucking Night Terrors books, they actually put out a book that had nothing to do with that at all. Joshua Williamson's Superman run, where we last left off was with the crazy, shocking conclusion of Lex getting stabbed. And while they didn't really pick up on everything that happened from that scenario in this, I guess that'll be saved for September after the Night Terror stuff. This was actually a really good annual and unexpected, and it's written by Joshua Williamson, the writer of the current Superman series, and I quite ended up enjoying this. I just think some annuals sometimes are so, hit or miss these days, but this was solid. I think this is just another good issue of Superman. In this, you kind of see like Lois Lane, now that she's taken over for Perry White, temporarily, is kind of leading that, like basically running the paper. He stepped away, and she's kind of trying to get the troops going in this issue. Like, she's bossy. She's fucking Lois Lane, so she's a little bit bossy. Not everyone really likes her decisions that she's making. Not, she's kind of just trying to get her feet wet and try to figure things out for herself, being in charge for once, right? And she's enjoying enjoying it so far, but of course it brings its own challenges. It's a little bit different than what she normally is, like just a superstar reporter and book writer and journalist or whatever else, right? So I thought this was a good issue. This issue, the good thing about this issue too was that most of the issue was actually taken up by stories of the other characters in Superman's world, not just Superman. So you kind of touch base on a lot of other things happening with from her to the LexCorp shit, like the organization that he's helping run right now while Lex is in jail. You got to see some stuff with Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen goes there. They're supposed to be writing I guess an article on like the LexCorp stuff that's going on, or whatever it's called, this new Lex Industries place. And Parasite is actually working in the actual place for them. Like, it's a weird version of Parasite. He's got like some sort of like band on his arm now. If you remember, that was the first villain of the Superman series, was all those multiplying parasites.
Yeah.
Well,
I think I did read this.
Yeah.
He's kind of working as like a UPS guy or something.
And there's another, they think that he's gone bad because they're controlling him with this like armband type thing that's feeding him energy now. And he's actually happy, and he's happy to help. And for now, like, it's been, they've solved the issue with Parasite, right? And then they see like another random parasite creature running around, and they think it's him, running amok once again. And then all of a sudden they turn around and he's like, oh no, this is just one of my parasites and didn't come back to me after like before. And he's like, oh, the poor thing, he's hungry. Really fucking creepy scene of these two creatures hugging each other. Yeah. What else going on? But then he's like, the news reporter that's with them, though, that's with Jimmy Olsen, is just like kind of disappointed because she was hoping to catch like them and like doing shit that they shouldn't be doing at this LexCorp place, right? And she's like, all right, Jimmy, take a picture of him, and he's like hugging the other creature. I don't know, I had a good time reading this book. I thought to myself, you know what, that actually series, this annual made me long for its return. I actually am enjoying the Superman title, and of course we got to fucking deal with Night Terror, so we were we can't see that. And other character here, I dug it, man. Oh, and Lobo was in this issue. That's right. This was sick too. The Lobo thing was cool because then you learn that there's like the Lost City of Kandor dude that collects all the what the fuck's his name, Metallo or
Brainiac.
Brainiac, thank you, Brainiac. That has like all the bottle cities. You find out that he's got Lobo's. He actually has a part of Lobo's old planet in one of the bottles. Yeah. So Narnia or whatever the fuck it's called, this place, right? Yeah, really cool. I mean, this spread was awesome. I really loved this fucking two-page spread of him like blasting a bunch of people, but because they mentioned the fact, as they have in the past a bunch of times, Lobo, there's only him and his sister. Like, there's only a couple of them actually alive, like currently, right? And I think his sister's that crush girl, Lobo, right? I think that's how currently.
Yeah, her daughter or something.
Daughter, yeah, something. He's really, yeah. But yeah, this last panel where they actually alluded to the fact that he actually has like other Lobo, like, he has a part of his civilization in a bottle. I was like, you know what, that could be very interesting. So I know not everyone loves Lobo, but for me, that was actually a really interesting kind of possibility at the end of this issue. So it was a good annual. I liked it, man. How about you? Did you enjoy it? Or?
Yeah, I do remember reading it. I think I read this last week. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. Like I said, I did like that. I always love seeing some Lobo stuff in there, especially since it's more closer to the original Lobo than the new improved Lobo that was out there for a while.
Yeah, no, the new 52 Lobo was no good. Yeah, the emo looking Lobo, whatever it was. Yeah, that was no good. So what'd you give this one?
Yeah, I give that 3.5 though. I wasn't too big on that the lowest story or whatever.
I liked it. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was good. Next up, I got Star Wars. Star Wars. Yeah, I read a Star Wars book. Max Rebo, #1, because of this guy, Max Rebo from the fucking Jabba band. I don't know. Me and Christine just really
powers.
Me and Christine just really find this character funny. So when we seen the one shot solicited about this side character that's literally just in the background as part of the band in the Return of the Jedi, primarily when you see him in Jabba's palace. He's just a funny looking creature, so we like him. So we just picked up this one shot. As you guys know, I normally don't read Star Wars, but you know what? This was not good. It was fun. He's definitely a background character. It was funny to see him just hanging out, but two things that were weird in this. One, he actually talked at one moment of this comic, which I didn't think he was a creature that talked like. I'm sure he was talking in another language, but we understood it. But the way they showed the word bubble was like you could understand what he was saying. So, the whole issue, he's got the narration boxes, and then all of a sudden, at one point, somebody walks up to him and he's fucking talking to him, and I can read it. I was like, no, this is weird. Why can I understand what this guy's saying? Right? I don't think we've ever seen this guy.
Were his first words at least something impactful? Or it's like, hey, Bill.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like a Silent Bob moment. No, I don't even know. It was dumb. And they tried to like tell you a little bit of backstory about how he knew some other guy who was a musician in his life that ended up getting killed, and they mentioned how much he loves music and all this stuff in this. But this was one of like 4 or 5 one-shots, I guess, that take place specifically during the events of Return of the Jedi, just before they kill Jabba in Jabba's palace. And that's basically what this issue was. This was just from the point of view of this character before those scenes actually took place in the movie. So it actually aligned itself with things that we already know from the movie, and this out of the Star Wars comics that I've read from Marvel that are really good. It's the things that take place in between the range, like the things that take place in between the moments that we already kind of know. This kind of just aligned itself with that, and I didn't know, but it says here that it's celebrating 40 years of Return of the Jedi. So I guess that's why they did one shots. But this was dumb. Like, it was just not needed. It was fun. This is a weird looking Han Solo in this issue too, by the way. The artist was not great. I don't know what's going on there, but anyways, but yeah, for the novelty of getting a Max Rebo toy, I also have a Funko Pop of him. That's right.
Put it all together.
Yeah, and the issue, I'm happy for that, but I'm gonna give it a 3 on the issue itself. It was nothing special. But and like I said, you see Jabba get killed in this. But look, he's celebrating at the end of the issue. Weird looking creature. All right. World's Finest Teen Titans #2. Wasn't so hot on the first issue. I said I'd try out the second one because it was a 6-issue miniseries. Since I didn't pick this up physically, just been reading it digitally. And I still don't like it. So I'm done with this one. Yeah, unfortunately, the World's Finest doesn't work for everything, apparently. I just, Mark Waid, even though he's writing this, first off, you don't have Dan Mora. He does have a good artist in Emanuela Lupacino. I do like her stuff. But she's no Dan Mora. I think I prefer Dan Mora on these books. And secondly, even though it's the same writer, Mark Waid, doing this, I just don't think he has the voice down for these characters like he does. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not the hugest Teen Titans fan, but I also just don't. Again, this felt like more of the same. This felt like an old man trying to write a book about a bunch of young people, and it's just not working for him. Like, I don't think it's it. In this, they investigate some sort of haunted house that turned. So here's the worst part about it, actually, Chris, before I stop talking about this book, because I don't want to shit all over it for too much longer. This issue had to deal with a scenario that very much felt like a Night Terror scenario, even though it fucking is not a Night Terrors book, but it is taking place during a Night Terrors week. And that's what made it even worse. I'm like, is this an unused Mark Waid Night Terrors idea?
Yeah, no, we're not giving Teen Titans Night Terrors. Okay, I'm just going to have them dream it then.
Yeah, it was bad. So yeah, no, this wasn't good. There's like a haunted house that they investigated, and then they found out that some girl is like connected to the house, and it's all her bad feelings that are being like put into the house or something. She's like some moody like teenage girl who's, you know, angsty, and all her bad feelings are being manifested in this house. Really fucking stupid. All right, so I don't know. And at the end, Chris, it gets even better. They get a text saying Titans Con July 3rd to 5th. And they're like, buy tickets. And then all of them are like, Robin's like, what? like he doesn't know that they're somehow invited to some con. Like
the Scooby-Doo book or what?
It felt like it. Oh man. I mean, I'm gonna give it a 3 for the art because I like her work. I would give it less on story though, like even a 2.75 this book. I just don't dig it. I don't think it's I'm not gonna continue reading it.
Picked up a couple winners this week already.
Oh boy, did I ever, eh? There you go. Night Terrors. 3.
Well, I don't know, like what are these came out on Tuesday. I read a bunch of them. None of them really stuck me as to like even as to what's going on in the story here. I think we're only talking about it just because it's taking up pretty much all of 90% of all DC books.
Yeah.
I thought Dead Man was pretty, it was a decent character. I think this is almost ruining Dead Man. But yeah, I don't know. What did you think about it?
It's fine. Yeah, I'm still liking the art talents that they've put on some of these books, but there's only so many times we can say that as a highlight. It was very forgettable. I do like Dead Man, so I don't think they're ruining him, but I don't really think they spend so much time with fucking him in Batman's body, and now they have him kind of out and about, but he doesn't really seem to be serving a great purpose for this event so far. Like he's not really doing too much, I feel like. And yeah, so it's not a great use of Dead Man. I've seen way better Dead Man stories, so I don't want to say this is like a great Dead Man story, but yeah, it was fine. I don't know. Like you said, it's not very good and it's kind of forgettable. And yeah, we got one more issue to go, a couple weeks more to go of this Night Terrors, and then we're back to DC. But yeah, at the end of this, yeah, it looks like they have something that could take out this insomnia guy now. But they also don't look like they are in good standing either by the end of this issue. So I don't know whether or not, they're going to struggle for one more issue. We're going to get a fucking prologue issue. And then that's it. That'll be it in a couple weeks. We can all forget about this nightmare called Night Terrors that affected the DC line. So I don't know what you want to give this.
Yeah, I don't know. 3.25.
Same. And then you got Night Terrors, Zatanna. Ditto. I don't got nothing else really to add to this either.
Whatever the cliffhanger last time is that Mr. Robot turned into some Rustbringer. She found some way to freaking turn him back. They're all afraid that she can turn them all back, and I know she escapes the maze. So from what I hear, they might be setting up some sort of Robot Man and Zatanna limited series or something.
Based off of this, really?
Yeah. I didn't know that they had such great chemistry, but who knows?
I didn't think so either. I guess the most that you got was they're like the odd couple in the sense that
I think it's one of the Hex and Violence or something. I don't know if that's something that's been out there before or that's what they're throwing around.
In the sense that he hates magic and she's magic, and he's somehow his soul's in the fucking the robot, and it's some he's there for some sort of reason in terms of like some sort of magic shit, like, right? So like, I guess that's their chemistry in the sense that they're the odd couple pair you wouldn't think would team up together. Yeah. I don't know. If it's written by this guy, the guy that wrote the Doom Patrol series, who also wrote this Night Terrors, I might give it a try because, quite frankly, I think at least that would be a story maybe worthwhile. He's not going to be forced to fucking involve these characters in a Night Terror story. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, but I do like both these characters. That's the only reason I read this second issue, right? That's the only reason I read the second one. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all I can say about this one.
They say here at the end, Hex and Violence style. Yeah, so maybe that is the case. Anyways, what did you give this? 3.25?
Yeah, 3.25.
Yeah, that was nice.
I don't want to ruin my 3.5 rating from Night Terrors.
How about this one? Spider-Man Annual #1, which is the first of a crossover between the annuals of Contest of Chaos, I believe it's called. Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
first with Wolverine and Spider-Man. What do you think of this?
I know I had high hopes for all this stuff, and I'm glad I only went in on a few of them because I didn't think this was great at all. Like, I don't like the way they had the Spider-Man written. They kind of wrote him like he was a teenager again. Whenever you got Spider-Man and Wolverine coming together, I was hoping for more, let's say.
Yeah.
But when they come together as like, this was almost like Saturday morning cartoon Spider-Man coming together with Saturday morning Wolverine. And, I don't know where, I guess Spider-Man lost because Wolverine had the won whatever the prize was to bring to Agatha Harkness and I don't know, this is venturing down night terror's path, but at least it's only through annuals. So I can forgive that. But yeah, what did you think?
Yeah, I agree with you in the sense it does seem like a Saturday morning cartoon type of, but again, it's Contest of Chaos, which is basically like a Contest of Champions thing. So I actually really didn't expect much from this. The main reason I checked this out is, like you said, usually whenever Spider-Man and Wolverine team up together or feature together or at odds against one another in a story, it's it's an automatic win. This was not great though, which is surprising because I think there's been so many great occurrences of these guys teaming up with certain things like this, even throwaway stories like this. And I don't think it hit the mark on this either. I agree with you. I think the as goofy as like an event or whatever, like annual event type thing that they got going on this like just like the Contest of Champions. This is instead they're all chasing this orb or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's it wasn't great.
Like I know where this fits in the timeline, but it would have been a good time for it to be gritty because Wolverine just if this would have happened after the Hellfire Gala, everything's gone to shit for him, and if it was kind of happening during Spider-Man's timeline, everything's gone to shit for him, so it's odd seeing kind of being, the happy-go-lucky dummy when, at a time for both of these people to be pissed off, they'd have good reason to be, upset with each other, not take shit from each other just because they're sort of in a bad spot.
Well, to your point, I think within the last couple of weeks, even and including this week, in the Ghost Rider book, you got him in the yellow suit. In this one, you had him in the brown tan suit, which I'm a big fan of. And then a couple of weeks back, you had him in the X-Force suit in his own fucking series, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think the X-Force, or at least his clones were. I don't know. I mean, or whatever those things were that the Beast were. Listen, I'm a fan of all those suits, but like you said, this doesn't really fit in the current continuity. It seems like a weird outcast of sorts. It's like the ugliest. It's just like, what is this thing over here? We got and you just had an annual last week, and then you have this other fucking annual, which is this Contest of Chaos, right? It's like I don't see where it fits into everything. It's weird. I don't know. So, Chris rose up for a second there. Hopefully we get him back. Oh,
I'm back. Are you back?
Yeah, there we go. He's gonna unfreeze. You're gonna see him on the beach. Like, hey, what's up? All right, so what'd you give this?
I'll give it a 3.5. It wasn't, verging on a lower score, but like I say, I'll still like seeing these two guys together.
Yeah, I guess I'll still give it a 3.5. It wasn't great, but you got Wolverine in a brown tan costume, and you got Spider-Man. So yeah, it was worth reading it.
It wasn't what I was expecting, but it's still kind of fun seeing them jabber, jaw at each other.
All right, and we're ending off with the book we normally try to end off with if it comes out on any given week, and that's Amazing Spider-Man issue 31, which is an oversized issue, or I guess 925 legacy numbering, 31 regular numbering, and this is an oversized like 80-page issue or something, and you got the main storyline, and then you got a bunch of setups for all the other series that are happening throughout the Spider Universe, let's say the Spider-Verse right now, like including Spider-Boy, Spider-Woman. I guess you get like a fucking Mary Jane one in here. Anyway.
Yeah, not like the first appearance of Jackpot, I guess.
Of who?
Of Mary Jane as Jackpot?
No, she showed up in that miniseries as Jackpot.
But not without a costume and anything, without a name.
I guess it's considered the first appearance. I don't know. I don't know if you are. I'm not a huge fan. he does not need to be a superhero. I think it's fucking stupid, personally. I mean, that story, first of all, it starts off with her in that fucking apartment with that fucking Paul guy who no one gives a shit about. Like, okay,
Yeah.
that's now. And then Black Cat shows up, and it gives her that god awful fucking outfit. It's terrible. And she's like, you should be out superheroing. I'm like, what? Like, why? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just like they keep trying to find purpose for this character outside of the marriage
Yeah.
of Peter. And that's fine. I don't want her to be one note in that sense either, I guess, right? And it's, I guess, not a good look for today's women or whatever. But like at the same time, she is a great supporting character, whether she's with him or not. I don't think she needs to be a fucking superhero. I don't know. That's just me. Do you
Yeah.
agree?
I thought it was nice in that Black Cat. Oh, she got powers. I thought the powers would be gone by the end of it. End of story, a fun little, mini series. But this spinning out into, main continuity, I don't know about that. If she spins out into her own storyline, I don't think I'm that interested in buying it, really. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mary Jane too.
There was a series actually that preceded all this. That was called The Amazing Mary Jane. I think it lasted like for 2 volumes, maybe like, I don't know, 10 issues, 12 issues or something like that.
Yeah.
It was by, I think, Leah Williams wrote it. Anyways, it's a good writer who wrote it. I never read it, but I heard good things about it. I might have to check it out now. That book is about her in the world, basically her actual profession, where she's like a high world-class model and actress. And it actually
isn't that where she kind of got together with Tony Stark or something, or at least they had some sort of relationship
around that time. But again, they were finding other uses of her being without Peter and still making it like she's her own woman, where you're like, you don't need to attach her to Peter. Yeah, that's fine. But like having her be a superhero just doesn't make any sense to me. And then she's still with this fucking Paul guy. It's weird. I think
sooner or later they're going to get rid of this Paul guy. When he's gone, then her powers are gone because she's whatever. It's those runes that give her power, and he's not working on it.
You're probably right. Yeah, what am I saying? That sounds good. But anyways, let's talk about the main story, though. What'd you think of that?
Were you talking about the main story with the wedding?
Yes, that's the main story of this issue. Yeah.
I was surprised to be enjoying John Romita Arts Jr. or John Romita Jr.'s art.
It was great in this issue, but remember, he's been off the book for a while, so I think he took his time on this one.
Yeah, like, I enjoyed all the other stories. I thought they're great, but he suits like the Tombstone, and this sort of these characters. His art style suits them. If he was trying to do other like some of these other stories and he was the artist for it, I'd be like garbage. But I think his.
Well, I was going to say, to your point, in between his story, they brought this other artist in to show the bachelorette party. He didn't draw them.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, exactly. But go on.
Yeah, because that was great too. You got a nice artist. Because the bachelorette party, you got the crew there. I didn't know that. I guess the girl that's getting married was a villain or something.
Yeah, Robbie's girlfriend. Robbie. Is it Robbie? His son's name, Robbie Robertson's son. Is it also Robbie, or is it something else? I think it's Robbie. But yeah, his wife is now wife is a supervillain. Yeah.
Ooh, sorry, it was tough. But the big takeaway though is what happened with Black Cat and Peter Parker. Come on. Can't you give it? Can't they have a good couple issues where they just had some good fun, and then you can, dump them? Like it seemed, as them together really didn't do anything. Like they're the one issue when they went to the mountains or something on their little vacation. Yeah. They need a good Gleason or a good artist in there just to get some, just get a nice issue out of the way, and then you can, go back to the norm here.
It felt very brash for sure, like a quick decision that was made. But at the same time, it was good while it lasted. I did enjoy them together for the brief period of time that they were. The whole reasoning was weird though, I gotta say, because like she was at the bachelorette party.
Yeah, he doesn't love me anymore. He's not trying to stop me from being bad.
Like, hold up. Felicia has not been a villain very much lately though.
Exactly.
So that's what didn't ring true. I felt like, what would be interesting if they continue now for the next little while to have like an on-off relationship where they are still somewhat, You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah,
run into
for some reason they run into each other, and then
yeah,
yeah,
because that's like real life too, right? Like I think
yeah,
that would be better than completely separating. I mean, we all knew it was gonna last, but I have enjoyed it. I have enjoyed that story of her.
yeah.
Like,
I can like you say, yeah, she hasn't done anything bad in a long time, anyways. Like she
yeah,
was gone in her miniseries world, and it's not like she's been out there stealing everything, and he's kind of running into her. But anyways, I didn't like that part, but it's still a good story. It
yeah.
got me involved in this story,
The
and
wedding
then the
was fun.
wedding itself.
The wedding was fun.
What
All
a
the
good
goof
show.
up at the wedding where he's like, Hammerhead's, hey kid, to fucking like to Peter, where am I sitting? All his fucking henchmen. He's like, what the fuck? What kind of wedding is this? That was fun, man. I know it's oh yeah, and then Shotgun showed up, who's fucking awesome. I think John Romita Jr. wrote this fucking 90s character. I think in Daredevil. Sorry, I didn't write him. He drew him. If I'm not mistaken, he drew this character in Daredevil back in like the 90s or something. He's basically just a dude on a motorcycle with a shotgun. His name's
Yeah,
Shotgun. Comes to crash the wedding here, which I think Hammerhead's the main side. Oh no, Hammerhead blew up the wedding at the end. He's like, no, that
yeah. He
wasn't
had
me.
some alternate plans because wasn't it like one of the other crime bosses? He
Yeah.
blew her up or something.
I gotta tell you, Chris, I'm also becoming a huge fan of this bunny character. I don't know, the rabbit chick. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know, she's
remember.
kind of fun. I don't know why.
Yeah, she was finding that story with the Black Cat and Spider-Man back, where she was
Yeah,
selling the what was that like the adventure of
yeah, the fake villains. You become a
yeah
villain for something like that. Yeah. That was fun. I like her. I like her. I like how she keeps like seems threatening in these scenarios, and you're like, well, what does this chick do?
yeah like where she got this stuff with
But
this stuff
that was
here with the Kamala Khan stuff.
I liked the Kamala story actually. I
It's
liked how
right, freaking too soon, not enough. Like once again, like if you put this in chronology, like if this was a story on its own, fine. But after the Hellfire Gala, everybody's destroyed, and then she's walking around like nothing's going on. Like wouldn't she be underground, freaking, trying to fight the fights? And just lost half the mutant population. I know she's not part of it, but you wouldn't be really walking the streets there. But anyways,
I did like how she kept saying, "It's like, yeah, I'm now part of the X-Men," and it shows it like in the animated
yeah.
series. Like, can you stop doing that? Like when I read that, I just started. I'm thinking about. I like how she kept doing that to him though. She's like, "Oh, I gotta go. I gotta be back with the X-Men." Like I don't know. So I actually like that one. That one actually I did enjoy that he revealed
I
himself.
like there was only like a 2 or 3 page look too. They didn't stretch that out into anything crazy.
It wasn't. It was only like 4 or 5 pages. I think that one, right? It wasn't long.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I like it too.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, when you get into these setup stories, there's a mixed bag. Some of them weren't great. I don't give a fuck about the Spider Boy story either. I think you're liking it though, right? So far, or I don't know. I
Well,
can't
let's see
remember.
how it goes. I like it so far, but now they're getting crazy.
This was a Superior
But
Spider-Man. This is fun.
yeah, yeah, this got me going to buy that one shot Superior Spider-Man
I
Returns
I hate this. I'm not going to be checking this out. This fucking
with the jackpot stuff. Yeah, it was nice to see, but come on, nobody wants it.
This was interesting. Craven banged the fucking Red Goblin. What the hell is that all
Yeah, where did
about?
that come from?
All of a sudden he's hunting her, and the next panel he netted her. He's like, "Hey."
Yeah, it's like, oh, you think they're battling because they're trying to kill each other? They're being very amorous. I know how they said at the line there, but it's
Oh
like
my god!
watching of the hunt or something. It's like, oh,
You get fucking post-coital Craven here. He's like, yeah, I bagged her.
yeah. Well, it's good to see this Goblin or Goblin Queen or Queen Goblin, whatever, trying to stay
Again,
relevant. They're still trying to use her.
I was about to say I didn't care about the character before. Now I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Oh man, so yeah,
I think they're just setting up stories for Amazing Spider-Man because I know there's some Craven thing going on.
so this is the return of Carrie Andrews to Spider-Man. He did a
I'm
story
interested
called
about this too.
so he did a story that years and years ago called Spider-Man Reign, Reign.
Yeah,
You know, to me, I read it. It's been a while since I read it. I personally didn't love that story at all, but I really like Kari Andrews as an artist. Like, he's really interesting artwork, like very unique style. Like, and he can do so many different styles. He's the one that Chris that drew those flash. You remember when she was in that dimension, Mary Jane, and
Yeah, yeah.
he drew that issue, a lot of it, like for those flashbacks. So, like, I don't know. I might check this out. I don't remember the first miniseries at all. So
I think this is all going to be in like the Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man series, not like standalones. I don't know
okay.
how it's going to fit in, but
I'm down with that if that's the case. But I think this was promoting Dark Reign 2, which is a sequel to his other miniseries. I don't know. I like Carrie Andrews, so I might be checking this out regardless. But I wasn't a fan of the first one that he did. But very cool looking art. So yeah, that was the highlights that I felt anyways.
Wasn't there some Kingpin thing where he's like huge and like when Kingpin was starving and then he's got his power back or sorry, you know, he got his influence back and now he's just like on a freaking IV drip, freaking feeding him food all the time, or no? Is that something else or somewhere else?
I don't know if that was in this issue. No,
maybe I have to somewhere else, but
yeah. Oh, hold on. Oh, this was in that story, the Carrie Andrews one. Yes. Yeah, it was. You're right. Yeah.
This is in that world. Mary Jane is dead, right? She died from, I guess, radiation poisoning.
Yeah, she's dead in that world, from what I can remember.
Like her ghost is there on top of him, or
yeah, I haven't fucking read it in years, but like some people liked it. I don't think it was well received at the time, but
it's probably a good story until you find out she died because of the way she died too, from exposure to his radioactive bodily fluids.
He's also gotten way, way better as an artist since then. So like I'm interested to see it now. Like I'm here for it, I think still, but
yeah, for sure.
What'd you give this out of 5 then, this issue?
I can give it a 4.25 and a 4.5. This is a roadmap of where Spider-Man's going over the next couple of years or next year or so. I was down for most of those stories, and as long as that MJ story is a standalone or an issue on the side, or even if it's part of an arc, I'll buy it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it, like as a standalone series.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was gonna give this a 4.5, but just because of how many short stories were in it and not all of them were bangers, I'll give it a 4.25. I'm gonna give it a slight deduction, but otherwise, for as big as it was, majority of the stories were still pretty good, and the main story was fucking really good. So yeah, I'm loving Spider-Man as well as X-Men, right? To say that, I'm a happy camper right now, and we've had light weeks. I feel between the Spider-Man and X-Men books throughout this last month and 2 months almost with DC fucking hiatus, it's been the savior, I think, of the stack.
Well, I'm always happy when the good books are good. Like when their top titles are good books. You're not just buying them because it's a top title and you're just trying to struggle through them. I'm happy X-Men is back, and even all the tie-ins and they're all kind of running on full speed ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, that's going to do it for what we read this week, guys. Chris, do you have a list ready, or would you?
I do have a list ready.
Oh, look at this guy. This guy's prepared. He's even on next time. He's killing it. All right, go ahead, man.
So for Marvel, next week I'm buying Alpha Flight, Daredevil 14, Dark X-Men, Spider-Man 11, Uncanny Avengers 1. DC, I'm not buying anything, but there's a bunch I'm reading. There's still a whole bunch of Night Terrors that, if they catch them, they pique my interest for whatever reason. And I think you got the Void Rivals from Image. I don't think I have that on my pull list, but I'll probably read that too.
Yeah, that is coming out next week. Bigger week, I think, comparison to the last couple of weeks. I got things I'm picking up physically. I got Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number whatever this is, 18 or I think 18. Batman White Knight presents Generation Joker 4. Harley Quinn Black White Redder number 2. The conclusion of Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil number 14.
Oh, that's the conclusion. Nice.
Yeah. So looking forward to that one. Really looking forward to the start of this other miniseries, Uncanny Avengers number 1 by Jerry Duggan. That's going to be with the X-Men and the Avengers. So that's going to be interesting. And Void Rivals number 3, like Chris just mentioned, definitely going to be checking that out too. And that's things I'm picking up digitally, though. I might check out Dark X-Men for sure. I'm going to be checking out Spider-Man 11. I might check out in terms of Night Terrors. I'm gonna be checking out Wonder Woman and Superman because GLA Dark was the Wonder Woman one, and the Superman one I really like the artist on it, so I'll probably read that one. And yeah, I might check out the Call #1 too. I think that's the new Image book from what's her name there that I like. What the fuck is her name? The Kelly Thompson, who writer of Captain Marvel and a bunch of other things I enjoy. So yeah, so I'm gonna be checking that out probably too if I come across it digitally. So yeah, that should be it for next week in terms of things we're looking to read. Why don't we get a quick tour of the room?
Here, let's see. Okay, well, I'm gonna start flipping the camera here, see if that helps.
All right. Now I can't see you.
Okay, no, nothing. Hold on. Flip it back. Let's see. All you see is me now. Oops.
Oh, nice big room, Chris.
So let's see. That's the couch, the balcony over here.
Yep.
And then I know it's a good thing I'm here in the solo room. We got the bathtub out in the hall.
Yep, always a nice touch. Yep.
We got the washroom sort of just connected to the room.
Yeah.
Got the shower over the side.
Yeah.
And then we got the shitter here right by the door where it needs to be.
Very helpful. And
I don't know if you can see this here.
I can. Yeah. You don't want to stray too far from that when you're in Mexico, folks. I'll tell you that.
We got some booze here.
Oh, that's always great. Yeah, booze in the room for sure.
And then we got the loaded, stocked fridge, 3 beer.
Absolutely.
We make drinks there, so not too bad.
How much? So do you? How much do you tip on the bed in the morning, there, Chris? Usually, what do you leave for a tip? Do you do that?
Yeah, I leave probably like 50 pesos every other day, but I only have them come in every other day.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, because that's usually what we do too. Customary to leave a buck or two on the bed every day.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's the thing. We go inclusive. It's freaking everything costs you $5 or whatever. You go out to dinner, got to leave a few pesos there. Yeah. And everywhere you go, but hey, that's the price of business here, I guess.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, there you have it, folks. There's Chris all the way live from Cancun out there. Thanks for joining us.
Cancun Rio Palace Costa Mujeres.
Nice.
Maybe somebody there will maybe have a fan in the in Rio Palace there. I might hook us up here with a sponsorship.
Hopefully you'll try. You hopefully we'll get the attention of the good attention from somebody out there. Be like, oh, this guy's in Mexico right now. You see? That's what I mean. You don't want to draw the bad attention for yourself out there. You gotta watch out. El tourist. Whatever they say, I don't know. No, for sure. Just don't get robbed. That's what I'm saying.
Rob me. Yeah, bigger than most people here. You got down the beach there. You got the National Guard or whatever. They're walking down. It's still odd seeing people walking around like freaking machine guns, slung over their shoulders. I don't know how they do it. It's hot as fuck out there, and they're in full uniform.
Yeah. No, I know. I've witnessed that out in Cancun before too. Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, have a blast. Have a great rest of the time out there, Chris.
That's what I can do.
This was great as always. Let me guess what your favorite of the week is, shall we? Is it Amazing Spider-Man #31? Immortal X-Men gave it a run for its money this week, but I got to go with Amazing Spider-Man #31 too. There you go. I think that's 2 back-to-back weeks that me and Chris had the same pick here.
They are late weeks, and DC isn't putting anything out. Well, at least we're not reading anything DC's putting out.
Right.
And even like you're just talking about how that Superman where Lex died or Lex got stabbed. I forgot all about that. And when I did my October solicitations, like my list is so huge, I'm still not even sure if I put Superman on there. Like, because I was just looking for stuff to cut, and I don't remember what was going on there. Like, that might be out because there's so many other stuff I was getting. Like, my list for October was huge.
Yeah, same. Yeah, so these lighter weeks are not gonna last, guys. It sounds like because even most recent solicitation, it looks like out with the old, in with the new. They're fucking bringing out a lot of interesting looking things in the coming months, so that'll be really good. Look forward to that. So yeah, all right, man. Thanks again, and there you have it, guys. That's our show for this week. I think by the time you see Chris again next week, he will be back in Canada. Unfortunately, I believe.
That's it. See if I can get a bit of a different decor there, maybe maybe a different area to film in. Feel
Yeah,
getting stale, maybe in that same spot there. Go back in the dark.
we'll spice things up, and then maybe next week too we'll get into some talks about some con stuff, because there's an upcoming con here, Fan Expo in Toronto, so maybe we'll talk about some con related stuff with that, and maybe even get together, and we'll have to do an in-person soon too here, guys.
Yeah, sounds good.
No Mexico, but maybe we'll record out on the balcony here. All right, everybody. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Chris. Have a great time, and later.
All right. Cheers. Thanks.